We're back coming to you live from the hotel here again, and I'm still not saying where because I don't want to get in trouble in case it's top secret classified information. But the UFC, it's been a while since they've been back in our town in the Tampa Bay area. And let's welcome to the program Miranda Maverick. Miranda, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Have you been to Tampa before?
I have been to Tampa before. In fact, when I was young, I lived in Dade City, Florida for about a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
So being back in the warm is definitely inviting. I came from like 2 degrees out there in Denver and flew out here. So I'm happy for the warmth and humidity.
So there you have some Denver connections.
Yeah.
And now we can call this a home fight for you.
Yeah, there we go. I guess you'd say that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dade City's just up the street.
Well, Dade City is known for like the rugged, tough mudders and like a lot of farmlands. So they turn them into these obstacle courses. Have you ever done one of those in
Oh, no.
Dade City?
I was pretty young. I was like 9 years old, and I remember just being there. We had some orange groves on our property. My favorite memories are going out and picking the white grapefruits and the oranges and having them as breakfast before I got on the school bus, you know?
So is that what led to the pickle company? Like, is that how you got into like agriculture?
So I have a big background of moving around the U.S.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
My entire youth pretty much, and everywhere we went was rural properties and growing up on a ranch on a farm, and we homesteaded most of our food, like everything from milk cows to our own chickens. Like we barely went to the grocery store, and so I learned to can at a very young age. That's kind of what started with the pickles, and then the honey was an accident. We were cutting down a tree for firewood, and there happened to be bees in them, like wild honeybees, and so bought a hive to put them in to help them, survive. And it just kind of started a passion.
Wow.
I loved it. And we all love honey in my family. And so now I have several hives and continuously growing. And the pickle business is starting to take off and hopefully getting more and more. So prowlerpickles.com if anybody wants to see it.
So I'm going to do a timeout because this is
right.
where Randy would change subjects and shift gears on me because we're talking about nutrition and fitness.
I was going to talk about the pig farm in Dam Neck.
But I'm talking
we'll
about pickles and for like the dura lining of the brain for like headaches and drinking
Very
pickle
healthy.
juice.
Yep.
Right,
Electrolytes. It's great for like ultra runners and stuff too.
Yeah.
When they go to pick up those drinks that they're doing on the races, it's usually pickle juice, right? And people have like frozen pickle shots and stuff that people have when they're in track and field. So I sell pickle juice as well on there. And
parasite cleanse for the gut microbiome. Plus honey is a medicinal properties, and they found it in tombs
natural probiotics, natural
and
antioxidants.
yeah. You're speaking my language. That's my frequency, Randy. So now go ahead. Let's let Randy catch up.
I just like eating honey. I don't care
And
what
pickles.
That's fine too,
Right.
That's fine too. But I will say you always want to get the raw, unfiltered honey. Don't get the store-bought stuff that's already been cooked and stuff, because then all that natural, good stuff of honey goes away and you're just literally eating flavored sugar.
I feel like
Preach.
I'm talking. Now,
Louder for the people in the back, please.
Here's the difference, just so you'll get to know us. I don't listen to anything this guy says. Okay? He's been my co-host for 10 years.
Okay.
I've fired him 4 times.
Oh, no.
He refuses to leave.
Yeah.
I'm stuck with him. So no matter what he says, I don't believe. But you can talk me into anything.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Just know I'm the credible one. So we'll ignore him
Yeah.
and I'll just talk right to you and just revoice what he's saying if it's right, okay?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. So I want honey and I want to eat more pickles.
Yes.
but
Or
Miranda-
pickles, especially natural pickles. When you go pick up Vlasic or something like that from the store, I don't want to defame them or anything here, but they're going to be using huge tubs of vats with chemicals and stuff in them. Like you want to find a natural producer like my own, Prowler Pickles, like that you go and just put natural ingredients in and don't have to worry about chemicals and dyes and stuff like that. Instead, these have like natural probiotics. I ferment a lot of them naturally too, so it's just very great and healthy for you with those electrolytes.
I follow you on Facebook. I know all the stuff you do. So
And
I've
Randy's
seen
down.
your
Randy's down
strides.
about 30 pounds. Like
Oh,
so,
wow.
this
Well,
year he's dropped down
congratulations.
191 a few days ago. So we're very proud of Randy.
All right.
Silver Sneaker Award winner, Hall of Famer.
All right.
So-
Amazing. Well,
My daughter got
congratulations.
married, so I had to look good
Hey,
in the
there
picture.
you go. That's how my dad does for my fights. He always diets beforehand. He's been laughing about
Really?
it this week because my brother's actually cornering me for the first time ever, giving him a little opportunity in the limelight. And so I've been tormenting him. I'm like, you better have a 6-pack when you show up. Show up cornering me. My dad always diets for it, so you better too. So he's been on the health train as well with me.
The difference would be if somebody says you better have a 6-pack, I would have a 6-pack of Diet Cokes. I bring them in my car.
At least they're diet.
Yeah, no,
At
I
least
drink
they're
Diet
diet.
Cokes like it's going out of style.
It's awesome. No, look, I'm into the biohacking. I love the natural. I do all the flushes and the aluminum out of my deodorant, all
Yeah,
that.
my husband's big into biohacking and all that stuff. And
Love
helps people with all their injury prevention.
So how much of that is
to listen to this stuff and believe it now? At
Yeah,
least I can believe it now.
so how much of the biohacking, obviously Dana White and Gary Brecka and his relationship, how much of the biohacking is making it into the UFC?
Dana and them don't get tested for drugs, we do. So we don't get to exactly experiment like they do. I keep it very clean and like straight edge just because I am so worried about any contamination or anything. Because I do get tested a lot more, I feel like, than a lot of females. I'm very muscular anyway, genetically. If you guys see my family, like we've all been very muscular, even from my youth. So I'm very
Those guys, everybody with you is everybody with you is muscular. I'm like,
so I'm very careful.
It's the pickles, right?
Right.
It's the pickles. The Prowler pickles, baby.
So for me, I just kind of stay away from a lot of it, even stuff that is healthier, for you. Like I stay away from most protein shakes, all that, just because I'm like, I don't want anything to ever get blamed my way. Like I worked so hard to get to where I'm at in the career. No sense in having a protein shake and end up popping me for something. So I just stick with, like you said, like literally the pickle juice and beef and rice and chicken, and try to stick with just healthy raw ingredients that everybody in this world should be eating instead of processed food.
Which is your biggest passion? Is it fighting? Is it the pickling? Is it, I know you're a drawer as well.
Man, it's hard to say. I share a lot of passions. I say that purpose and passion go hand in hand. And for me, I have a lot of different purposes in life right now. I would say ultimately my passion lies with whatever my family is focused on. And right now my fighting is helping them. Right now my fighting is paying off the most as far as success, but I need backups. I'm going to get hurt or old one of these days. Hopefully old comes first,
Right.
And I want to have a backup. And that means that I have to have some other way of making a living. I don't want to be some assistant coach at a gym when I retire and just be making minimum wage like a 18-year-old kid in the gym, and not to crap on any fighters who do that, but I'm trying to have a different career in my future.
Yeah.
So I have my career with Hershey that I'm doing as a statistician. I have my businesses that I'm doing with pickles and with honey, and just trying to have my hands in a lot of things so that something takes off and I can pass those things on to my family as well, right? They can make a success with those things and I can move on to another thing. And that's kind of my dream, is to be able to start so many things that my family ends up benefiting from, that, including my own family and my future children.
It's called thinking ahead.
Yes,
planning ahead.
Exactly.
Marcus Jones, I don't know if you know the name, used to be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first round draft pick, fought for the UFC, was on the Ultimate Fighter, and he would always tell me, I don't like football. I'm just good at it.
Yep.
That's
not the same with fighting, for sure. I enjoy it very much so, but I do joke with people that I would be doing jiu-jitsu if it paid as much as fighting did. I don't exactly get carried away with being punched in the face all the time. But again, I'm good at it and I do really enjoy it because of that. If I was bad at it, I definitely wouldn't enjoy it as much. Getting beat up for a living isn't exactly my cup of tea.
Sure.
But I do remember, like in high school, I did track and field. I hated running, hated it so much, but I was pretty decent at it and thought, okay, if I can get a college scholarship with this, I'll keep doing it and force myself. And when jiu-jitsu came into the picture, I was like, screw that. No more running for me. I'm going to go into this grappling field. And that's kind of how MMA took off for me.
How will you get through the next couple of days? I always ask the fighters, do you like to not think about Saturday? That's the job at task. Or think about Friday? Or are you thinking about it nonstop?
I'm a goal person, and the goal is to win that fight, So every step I take from here between now and then is to win that fight. So I think about it constantly. I envision it. I see like every move she's going to do. What am I going to do in response? And this is part of the job. This is the miserable part of the job, the weight cut portion. And every bite of food that I take, every sip of water I take gets me to that win. So that's all I'm thinking about. I don't ignore it at all. It's right there in front of me. The more I think about it, the more like fired up I get to beat up this person making me suffer.
Which would be, I call Christmas. Christmas is Saturday, even though it's really next week.
Right.
I call fight day Christmas.
Yeah, it might as well be, right? Because my family is one of those families like Thanksgiving, Christmas. We're kind of putting it all off until after my fight for me. So it is Christmas in my family sense.
So Randy hates when I talk about me, but if it's fitting in this moment. So I was a natural bodybuilder. I won Mr. Universe, eating nothing but pizza. I used natural ingredients. But
hold on.
He
rode a bicycle from Tampa, Florida,
here
to New York City,
all the way.
Wow.
I don't care what you eat. You're going to lose weight. You're going to look like you worked out. You rode a bicycle.
But the point is that they say if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And in natural bodybuilding, if you declare that you're taking hormone replacement, not enhancement, you can still compete as a natural bodybuilder, So I took great pride in beating people that were cheating deliberately.
Yeah.
And I still smashed them at 41 years old to become the champ. So do you take extra pride if you do feel like an opponent might have doing something that you're not doing, not suffering as much as you're suffering, and you beat them anyway? Do you love that?
I mean, I don't even know if it's that aspect, but like in the past, there's been organizations I'm in where they were allowed to take stuff like that, like enhancement drugs. And I knew sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, obviously pencil veins aren't exactly natural on women, right? And it was like, I don't know if I take extra pride in it. At the end of the day, this is a skill-based sport, and I'd hope I could compete with the best no matter what they were doing or putting into their system.
That's a great mindset.
Thank
you.
you.
Great mindset.
But at the same time, it's like, man, they're doing whatever they can. You know, if you're not cheating, you aren't trying. There's still a respect aspect of the sport. I've had opponents before. I won't say who on this one, but I had one that cheated about 15 times in the middle of one fight, and I was very mad by the end of it, and I can't believe she's still in the UFC, to be honest, after all the cheating she does. But it was one of those where it's not like, oh, I'm extra happy with that win. It was just like, I'm extra happy the way I won. I mauled her and made her suffer a little bit. And it's like, you don't cheat in this sport. This is a respect-based thing. This is a sportsman-like thing. And I'm blessed to be here, blessed to be able to show my potential in it. But cheating's something I don't agree with.
Let me ask you this. I've asked all the other fighters. I'm a judge here in the state of Florida as well, so it bothers me. I hate warnings. Mm-hmm. I hate stern warnings. I don't really know what a stern warning is. Is that more than 2 warnings? Well, give me your thoughts on warnings. I mean, should be an automatic point if it's a foul?
I'm not so much on automatic. I think 1 warning, but not 1 warning per different foul.
Right.
I think it should be 1 warning, like let's say it's poking, and it's like, hey, your fingers are out. Before an eye poke even happens, keep your fist closed, because they'll say that a lot. And then the first time they poke, it's like, oh, we'll give them a warning now. I'm like, no. That first time you said keep your fist closed should have been the 1 warning. Mm-hmm. Like I somehow in my entire career have accidentally cheated 1 time, and it was my first ever fight, and I like grabbed the cage on the way down, and I still literally let go and fell down because I was like, she probably would have had it, right? And then I won the fight. And it's like, as somebody who knows you cheated, like get your shit together, right? And it's like, don't keep cheating. You keep cheating, right. Boom. It should be a point taken away immediately, in my opinion. 1 warning. If the warning is after somebody elbows, I'm sure no warning at all, right? But if it's something where it's like your finger was open a little and poke or something like that, or a kick to the crotch, but after 1 warning or 1 time it happening, boom, point taken. This 2 warning stuff is nonsense. A lot of fighters are getting hurt. There's a lot of no contest as a result of it. People want to argue the gloves and they want to argue the clothes and all this crap. Nonsense. It's the person and what they decide to do. Their coaches obviously aren't keeping them strict in the training gym, or they themselves are doing it intentionally. And one way or another, it shouldn't be allowed. And
I believe if you know there's a warning and you know there's a stern warning after the warning, they're going to do it.
Yeah, why not just take the 3, right?
Exactly.
It's like basketball. It's like, oh, you fouled, you tech fouled. And it's like, no, like how about if they did it intentionally, done, you're out.
I now believe you on honey. I now believe you on pickles. I'm team Miranda for sure.
Thank you.
Talk about the fight itself on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited, but also a little going into this with a little aggravation, a little chip on my shoulder, so to speak. The whole Tracy dropout, not getting to fight a ranked opponent. I've been at the top 15 ranking pretty much my entire career in the UFC. My second fight in, I was ranked number 15. Then I drop out of it. Then I come back. Then I'm number 14. Then I'm 15. Then I'm out again. And now this time was a chance, last fight I should say was a chance when I was supposed to fight Tracy to move up the ladder since she's higher ranked. And then, she got pulled up to fight Rose. We didn't think she was going to make it to fight me in the first place, but she ended up getting pulled to fight Rose. I fight somebody else on short notice who's not ranked. So be it. Get paid the same, right? Go in there, do my shit. Now this time, it's like, oh, we're giving it an 80% chance she drops out. I've been talking about it the whole time. We see her about, 6 weeks out. It was a week before she actually dropped out, and it was like, man, she's looking thick. She's got on fingernails that are 3 inches long. Like, I don't know if she's going to be showing up to this fight, right? Like, there's no way that she's in at least fight shape to be fighting me. I was so confident going into this one. And then we hear she drops out, and I wasn't even surprised. When I get a call from my manager, I'm always like, text me first unless it's bad, right? And I always know. And it's like, I answer the phone. I'm like, uh-oh. And he's like, yep. She dropped out, and it was like, shit. I knew
ship.
It.
She said ship.
So,
she said ship. S-H-I-P.
Of course. And so then we're calling around. We ask a couple others. Nobody in the top 15 wants to fight. Either they're hurt, they're wanting to retire, which means they shouldn't be in the rankings anyway, in my opinion. Or they are just already booked, which, okay, that one's fair, right? We aren't going to count that against them. Or they just don't want to fight me. And I know at least 2 of them don't want to fight me and have said no now multiple times. And it's very frustrating when I'm like, I need a fight. And they can't say it was too short notice because it was 5 weeks out. Most of my fight camps aren't even close to that long, right? And so finally, I give a lot of respect to Jamie Hoare for stepping up, taking the fight. I already messaged her and was like, hey, thanks so much for taking this fight. Let's dance. Let's put on a good show for everybody. And she was very respectful back. And although it's not a ranked opponent and not what I want to happen, still get to fight, still get to make some money. But man, on this next fight, I need a ranked opponent. You know, I'm going to call out somebody. We're going to have to fight somebody that's higher up in the rankings. I want to get in that top 10 sites within this next year easy. If I only fight 3 times, I better get to it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the rankings.
Yeah,
and the people that do them. You know, so I was part of that at the beginning. So I don't know if you know this. I've covered the UFC longer than anyone in the world.
Okay.
Started at UFC 1 and still alive to still cover it. So nobody else has done that. I was involved with the rankings. And then whoever determined, no, we only want straight MMA media. Like, I pretty much know almost as much, if not as much as any. It's just ridiculous. You know, a lot of them do the rankings by who they like, their favorites, they're this, they're that.
That's obvious.
And it's just awful. What can the fans expect when you walk down the walkway at Emily Arena here in Tampa?
Listen, or at least a few minutes after the walkout part, you know, I'm going to get in there and kind of put a stamp on why I need a ranked opponent. Why I deserve nothing less. I thought I did that last time, but here we are again, you know. So go in there, put on another dominant show, get a finish as quick as I see it. And, you know, appreciate Jamie for stepping in, but unfortunately going to add another loss to her record.
Where can people get information on the pickles and the honey? Because I jumped on the Facebook, but for some reason I changed the password. Austin, I need my password back. How can we order some of this stuff?
prowlerpickles.com. I have my honey and pickles on there, so you can go to both shops, check it out. I'll be delivering stuff as soon as I get back home. So you guys go on there, order. I've got everything from pickles to Bloody Mary mixes to honey to beeswax candles, flavored honey, all kinds of different stuff, all natural, produced by me alone. This isn't a big company, not a big team. So I always tell everybody, because last fight I had people messaging me 2 days after they ordered, like, hey, why haven't I gotten my shipping confirmation? I'm like, dude, I just got home last night.
Right.
I'm like, this is a one woman operation, right? So prowlerpickles.com. And then if you guys want any Fear the Maverick merch, to check out my site, fearthemaverick.com. So my own nickname, fearthemaverick.com. I've got like anything from t-shirts, hats, autographed pictures, all that stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Miranda, before we let you go, you know, you're what's right with the UFC. I mean, it's a career, but you're looking long term, and just the different irons in the fire and tell which one catches on. Yeah. I think it's a great way to live life, and you're a rock star. My daughters will certainly look up to you and the rest of the females in the division, and good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff. We're going to get your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong,
thank you,
as well as Bucked Up Energy Drink. And
I like both those.
I'm going to send you one of these cool fantasy pets as well. So it's good stuff. All right, let's go ahead to our final break of the afternoon, coming to you live from this undisclosed location here in Tampa, hanging out with the UFC. We'll be right back.